After some time had passed, Paul said to Barnabas, "Let's go back and visit the brothers in every town where we have preached the message of the Lord and see how they're doing." Barnabas wanted to take along John Mark, but Paul did not think it appropriate to take along this man who had deserted them in Pamphylia and had not gone on with them to the work. There was such sharp disagreement that they parted company, and Barnabas took Mark with him and sailed off to Cyprus. Then Paul chose Silas and departed after being commended to the grace of the Lord by the brothers. He traveled to Syria and Cilicia, strengthening the churches. Dynamic duos have a certain awe about them. Batman and Robin, Doc and Marty, Han Solo and Chewbacca. So what about Paul and Barnabas? If there is one thing a dynamic duo need, it's encouragement. Well, Barnabas' name translates to son of encouragement, and we see from his appearances in Acts that he was quite the encourager. Early on in Acts, we see that he sold his field and donated the proceeds to the church to inspire and encourage others to do the same. So, if Barnabas and Paul had come so far as to risk their lives for the sake of Jesus and the gospel, how come these men, who were essentially brothers, have such sharp disagreement that would lead them in opposite direction? These men had set a blazing trail that would set a figurative fire to so many others sharing Jesus in radical fashion. Sometimes, as we read this, we forget that these men were such powerhouses for the gospel that they were human. Paul may have been rough around the edges and hard to get along with at times. Barnabas may have seen something that Paul did not, or vice versa. Regardless, these two refused to let a quarrel extinguishing their calling of sharing Jesus with others and continued their own journeys, multiplying their efforts. We will experience conflict with other believers, but we must not allow it to lead us to disunity. What is great about this story is that in the book of Colossians, we see that Paul reconciles this relationship by giving gratitude to John Mark. Consider those that you may have written off because of a divisive altercation has tainted the contact that you once had with them. Do you feel like you are too far gone? Do you feel like God cannot be glorified through that relationship? Once again, we need to remember that if we love Jesus, we should be working for the kingdom despite our disagreements.